Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people who make a ton of money still feel, well, fragile, while other folks, maybe earning less, somehow built this incredible sense of security? The answer, a lot of the time, hides in a place we're taught not to worry about too much: debt. We're going to dig into why it's a lot more dangerous than you probably think. Okay, so right up front, let's be super clear. This is not financial advice. We're not here to give you any recommendations or tell you what to do. Think of this more like financial behavior physics. We're just observing the invisible forces that are always at play, the things that quietly shape our financial outcomes, kind of like gravity. And that brings us right back to the central puzzle, right? The big question we're trying to figure out. How is it that so many high earners feel like they're walking on a tightrope while others are building a solid foundation, sometimes with a lot less? A huge piece of that answer comes down to how we see debt. So let's start there, by looking at its hidden price. So the common view, what most of us are taught, is that debt is just a math problem. Can I make the payment? Yes? Okay, good to go. But the real signal, the thing that actually matters, is that debt is a physics problem. It's really about flexibility, or the lack of it. And look, this isn't just some theory. This is a universal force. You can see it showing up everywhere, in all kinds of different lives. You see it with the professional, right? They're making great money, look super successful on paper, the income more than covers the bills. But then this amazing opportunity comes along, maybe to join a startup or take a sabbatical or just switch careers. And they can't do it. They feel completely paralyzed. Those fixed payments are like an anchor holding them in place, making any kind of risk feel terrifying. And you see the exact same pattern with the homeowner. We call a mortgage good debt, but it creates this powerful inertia. Suddenly, your whole life path starts to get narrower. Your choices aren't driven by what you want anymore. They're driven by the need to feed that 30-year obligation. You're locked in. And even the founder, the one with amazing cash flow, they're not immune either. When you're highly leveraged, personally or in the business, you're building a system that's incredibly fragile. It might look strong, but one little shock. A client leaves, the market turns, and the whole thing could come crashing down. There's just zero room for error. So if this pattern shows up everywhere, what's really going on underneath? What's the mechanism? How does debt actually rewire your decision-making? It really comes down to one core concept: optionality. It's a simple idea, but it's everything. Optionality is just the value of all your future choices. It's your freedom to say yes to a great opportunity, or maybe more importantly, your power to say no to a bad situation. And debt is a direct assault on your optionality. Here's how it slowly chips away at you. First, you commit to those fixed payments. What you've really done is sell off a piece of your future time. You've converted it into an obligation, and that automatically reduces your room to maneuver, your ability to take a chance on something new. And over time, that just erodes your negotiating power in every part of your life. But wait, there's a second force at play, and it's just as powerful. It's compounding. We love to talk about compounding when it's working for us, but it's a perfectly symmetrical force. It can also work against you. And when you're in debt, someone else is compounding on you. Time is working for your lender. So the real question is always, who is doing the compounding? So once you understand these mechanics, you start to see the real cost of debt. You see this fragility that was hiding in plain sight the whole time. This visual explains it perfectly. You might look at your gross income and think, okay, my debt payments are only, say, 15% of my income. That's totally manageable. But the hit to your freedom and flexibility, to your optionality, that's not 15%. It's more like 50, 60%, or even more. The financial cost is small, but the cost to your freedom is massive. That's the unseen drag. What this all boils down to is that your freedom is no longer a given. It becomes conditional. It's totally dependent on that paycheck hitting your account without interruption every single time. The power to just walk away, to change things up, to take a breath, it's gone. So what's the other side of this coin? Well, we can look at the people who build that real, durable security. They're operating with a completely different mindset. They understand the power of owing nothing. These are the people who play a different game. They value their flexibility way more than they value leverage. Their number one goal is to hold on to their future choices, because they know that's where the real wealth is. They get that time is always working for the lender, So their ultimate goal isn't just to own assets, it's to own their own time.
And all of that leads to this one central insight. It's a huge reframe. Real freedom doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from the quiet, immense power of not owing anyone anything.
So we've looked at the signal, the pattern, the mechanism. Now to pull it all together, I want to leave you with 3 questions. Just 3 simple things to reflect on. First one, what does your debt control? I don't mean what's the monthly payment. I mean, what choices does it get to veto? What career moves? What life changes? What risks does it prevent you from even considering? The second question, who is compounding on you? Right now, as you're going about your day, whose balance sheet is quietly growing thanks to an obligation that you carry? And finally, the last question, which is maybe the biggest one of all, who do you owe? And not just in dollars. Who do you owe your time to? Your focus, your future?